Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a long set of stiletto nails with glitter and some rainbows. So the first thing that I'm doing, of course, is going in and pushing back the cuticles, and this is going to just expose the new growth and help with reducing lifting. So you always want to go in and push the cuticles back. Next, we're going to go in and remove the shine from the natural nail. You can do this using a hand file or your e-file. I prefer to use the e-file because it's much easier and faster. And then also I'm able to get around the cuticle area really good, which you can do the same thing with the hand file, but again, it's just, you know, a speed thing as well. But I'm using my Melody Susie Scarlet nail drill, and I'm using it at 5,000 RPMs. And remember that if you're a beginner, just use it at whatever speed you feel comfortable using it at. And then after this, we're gonna go in and apply the nail tips. Now for my nail tips, I'm gonna be using my Coffin nail tips. These are actually by Macart, and I do have a promo code for them now, so I'll be sure to leave that down in a description. But these are actually the same nails that I used for press-on nails, and I just kind of glue them at the very tip. And since they're already like really narrow coffin, I just cut the sides off to make them into a stiletto, because I do have stiletto nails, but they are like a lot longer than what she wants, so I'm just using these. But again, these are by Macart, so I'll be sure to leave the link and the promo code down below for you guys. And then for my glue, I am using the KDS glue. I just apply the glue right on the edge of the nail tip and then place the nail down and hold it down for a few seconds. And also remember that when you're applying the nail tip, you want the nail tip to fit exactly from sidewall to sidewall. You don't want it to be too big or too small, because then you're either going to get lifting or your nail is just going to break off super easily. And then also if it's too wide, like your nails are literally going to look super big. So make sure that again they are the correct size. Alrighty, so after we finish applying the nail tips, I'm going in with my straight edge nail clipper, and as you can see, I'm just cutting the sides of the nail, basically just cutting them into a stiletto shape. So then whenever we come in to shape up the nails, we're not gonna do as much shaping, so it's gonna save us some time. And then also it's gonna take some of that work off our wrist, because you guys know that after a while we do start to experience pain. So you have to take care of yourself, because I'm actually experiencing a lot of it at the moment. So you want to make sure that, as always, you work smarter and not harder. But again, this is a straight edge nail clipper. Don't use the curved ones, because you're going to mess up your shape. Make sure that they are flat at the top, as you see, just like mine. But after we finish cutting the sides of the nails, we're going to go in with a 100 nail file, and we're going to be shaping up the nails. So just like any other time, we're going to be filing the sides at a 90-degree angle, and then just rounding off the top or the tip of the nail. And then you can make them as pointing or rounded as your client may want, but she likes them pretty pointy, so we're just going to continue to file on both sides, making sure that we alternate from side to side, because you don't want your nail to be crooked. And then once I do that, I just blend the nail tip right in the middle. That way when we apply the acrylic, you're not able to see, you know, where the tip starts. But again, just following the sides at a 90-degree angle. Remember that your shape is gonna depend on the angle in which you're holding your file. If you're not holding it at the correct angle, you will mess up your shape. Again, for this, it's a 90-degree angle on both sides, and just rounding off the tip, and that's pretty much it. And then of course blending the nail tip in the middle. So we're gonna do that on all of the nails, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, so once we have shaped all of the nails, I'm going to go in with my primer, and I'm using my Young Nail Protein Bond. We're applying that on all of the nails. And then remember, if you have a, what is it called, a dehydrator and a primer, that's completely fine, whatever makes you feel more comfortable. But with this one, I don't experience any lifting at all. And I do have the primer and dehydrator that goes to the JC Beauty Concepts, but I be forgetting to use it. I'm so used to using my, the Young Nail one. But anyways, now we're going in with the JC Beauty Concepts clear acrylic, and then we're also applying some glitter on the nails. So as always, I like to go in with the clear first. That way, next time when she comes in for a feel, we don't have to do a whole new set because you're still gonna have that clear underneath. We can just file away the glitter and then, you know, fill it in with whatever other color she may want. But again, just do the clear base and then going in with the glitter, and then of course doing, you know, as much glitter as you want. And then we're gonna go in and encapsulate this with that same clear. So again, this is JC Beauty Concepts. I really like their acrylic system. It's so easy to work with, and you know, it's so easy to build the nail because it's not as runny. So honestly, I feel like it's been cutting down on my time because again, it's so easy to work with. So I definitely highly recommend it. It's like it dries a little bit faster than the Mia Secret, but it's still, you know, enough time to where even if you're a beginner, it's still going to be really easy to work with. And with the Mia Secret, you know, it was so runny that you're having to keep adding acrylic and keep adding acrylic. And then also I was having to add a few drops of acetone to my Mia Secret monomer to make it not as runny. But with this one, I'm not having to do anything. I just use the monomer and their polymer, you know, by themselves, and they work super good. So again, highly recommend it. I do have a promo code for them, so I'll be sure to leave that down below for you guys. And then as always, I'm using my alpha brush in a number 10, which is a pretty good size if you're a beginner. See, I learned with a small brush. I think I used a number 10 when I first started doing nails, so that's kind of just what I stuck to because that's what I knew. There's people out there that start doing nails or learn how to do nails with a large brush, and that's kind of what they stick to. So it's just a personal preference. You know, if you want to start off with a small one and you feel like it's too small, then move up to a larger one. But I always recommend starting off with a smaller one, especially as a beginner, just because you don't want to pick up a lot of product because then your nails are going to be super thick and bulky. So that's why I always say that a number 10 is a pretty good size. Again, this is the alpha brush, number 10 oval brush. And yeah, so we're gonna do the same thing on all of the nails, but again, we're doing the base of the JC Beauty Concepts clear acrylic, and then we're going in with the glitter, and then we're gonna encapsulate it with that same clear, making sure that of course we clean around the cuticle area if we get any product on there because we don't want to get any lifting. And then always making sure that we look at the nail from different sides, from different angles, so from the side and the top, to make sure that you have a nice apex and of course a nice thickness at your tip, especially when you're doing stiletto nails, because if it's not thick enough, your nails will break off really easily. And that's why you see me lifting up her finger. Every time you see me lifting up the nail, that's me looking at it from the side. But yeah, so we're going to continue to do this on all of the nails, and then we're going to move on to the next step. And also something else that I forgot to mention is that when you're working with any acrylic, whether it's just clear, a pink, a colored acrylic, glitter, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're wiping your brush off a lot as you're working, because if not, that product is going to get stuck to your brush and then it's going to be really hard to have a smooth application. So again, make sure that you're wiping your brush off, and then also make sure that you're using good paper towels. I use the Viva paper towels and they really absorb the liquid and the product whenever I wipe my brush off. I've used cheaper like one time I ran out of my paper towels, my Viva paper towels, so I used some cheaper ones that I had, and trust me y'all, like it was a disaster. The acrylic was not you know, coming off basically as I was wiping my brush off, and it gets it starts to build up in your brush, and then again it's gonna cause the acrylic to basically just keep getting stuck and keep getting stuck until you're no longer able to do a smooth nail. So make sure that again you wipe your brush off. Also, after each client, I'll always let my brush sit in a little dapping dish with brush cleaner. You can use any brush cleaner, but for a while I was using acetone. So if you want to use that, just, I know the other day someone was asking if they can use acetone because they their brush cleaner still hadn't arrived or something like that, and that's definitely fine. Just make sure that you don't leave it in there for too long. But I did notice that when I was using acetone to clean my brushes off, it was drying my brushes out. So definitely would recommend investing into a brush cleaner, because they already come with like some sort of conditioner for your brush, so it keeps it nice and smooth. So again, definitely would recommend that you get the brush cleaner. But again, you want to clean your brush off or dip it into a brush cleaner for like 10 minutes after literally each client, y'all. That way next time whenever you're ready, you know, for your next client, your brush is nice and clean. You just dip it into the monomer and get to work. Alrighty, so after we finish applying the acrylic, we're going in with that same 100-100 nail file, and we're just going to be reshaping the nail. As always, they're already that stiletto shape, but after we apply the acrylic, it kind of takes away from the shape. It leaves like little rough edges, so we just want to go in and perfect that shape. But same thing, going in at a 90-degree angle from the sides and the sides, and then just rounding off the tip. And that's pretty much it. So we're going to do that on the rest of the nails, and then we'll move on to the filing part. Alrighty, so for this filing part, we're going to start with the fine drill bit. It's a ceramic one, and I get this one from Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave the link down below. But as always, we first start around the cuticle area, going from the right side all the way over to the left side, just going back and forth until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that the acrylic is not on the skin. And then of course filing the rest of the nails. And I do want to emphasize that when you are a beginner, if your nails are still lumpy and bumpy or whatever the case may be, the only way to get rid of those bumps and lumps is by going in and filing more. Same thing as whenever I'm applying the acrylic, I look at the nail from the side as I'm doing this. That way I'm able to see if there's any bumps and lumps. With me, you know, since I've been doing nails for a while, I'm able to have a smooth application, so I'm not having to do as much filing. Of course, I file around the cuticle area first, and I still file the rest of the nail. But again, if your nails are bumpy and lumpy, go in and, you know, just file as much as you can or want. Or need to. And then also sometimes, like I think for one of these nails, I'm gonna go in with a hand file, because sometimes you can't get it as smooth as you want with just the e-file, especially when it's kind of like a dip in the middle, like, you know, like when you try to even it out, sometimes it's a little bit hard. So that's when I use a hand file. So that's what I did for this nail. But again, we're just using a fine ceramic drill bit to do this. As always, you can use just a hand file if you choose to do so, but making sure that we seal that cuticle area really, really good. And then again, for the beginners, you know, if you're still having problems with lifting, a lot of the time it's from not filing around the cuticle area during this time. And, you know, it's going to get frustrating, but trust me, I was once in your shoes. I was going through the same thing. I feel like I was doing everything correctly, but I think I was just not focusing around the cuticle area like I should have been when I was filing you know, during this time. So make sure that you spend a little bit more time, and then, you know, with practice you're gonna get there eventually. But just be patient, practice, and you just have to be dedicated. Alrighty, so now after we finish filing the nails, we're going to go in with the buffer. And this is going to just get rid of any of the scratches left on the nails from the hand file or the e-file. So make sure that you buff the nails really good. And same thing, I just feel on the nail with my thumb to make sure that it's nice and smooth. And if not, I go in and buff the nails a little bit more until they're nice and smooth. But again, this is just a buffer. We're buffing the nails. After this, we're going to wipe the nail or dust them off and then wipe them off with an alcohol wipe. And then we can move on to the next step, which will be the polish. Alrighty, so for the colors, I'm going to be using Mimosa, Neon Lime Green. I'm also going to be using Baby Nest. And then the other two, I guess I didn't get the name of them, but they're all by Madam Glam. As always, I do have a promo code for them, so I'll be sure to leave that and the link down below for you guys. But as you can see, for these, we're just going to do kind of like a rainbow effect. It is Pride Month, so she wanted to just show her support. But again, we're just going to do this on all of the nails. I'm doing the yellow, the green, the orange, the pink, and the purple on all of the nails. And it's going to be random, so you know, I'm not doing any sort of, you know, not necessarily technique, but you know, different pattern, or I'm not doing a certain pattern, just literally doing it randomly on each nail. And then after this, we're going to cure each hand for 30 seconds. And then after that, we're going to go in and do the Madam Glam gel top coat on both hands and curing for 60 seconds. Alrighty, so going in with the Madam Glam gel top coat on all of the nails, and then after this we're going to be curing each hand for 60 seconds, and we're going to be using the Holly lamp also by Madam Glam, and again I'll leave that link and the promo code down below for you guys. Alrighty y'all, so here is the final look. As you can see, they turned out really pretty, really nice and shiny, and I love that shape on her. So as always, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.